My name is Donna Smith and I'm the producer of Langsund Yarn and a knitting pattern designer. We're on the family craft, break craft on the island Westboro. So my granddad bought the craft just after the Second World War and we've been on this land ever since.
I am Colin Goodlad. Started crafting when I was probably 5 years old, which is a long time. The old house that you see in the background, I was Ferry Ken first, and then we moved to the other house and I built a new house as well. So I've lived here all my life.
The Shetland sheep, when they're lambing, basically they can kind of just lamb themselves, which is really good. They're very hardy. We tend to feed them here to keep them tame, or my dad feeds them every day, so that keeps them tame, so that they generally come after us with a bucket. Yeah, so some of them are a bit more like dogs than sheep. So the first thing you had to do is clip the sheep or rue the sheep, but we clip them, and it's all Shetland sheep, so that all goes into the garage and I sort it into colours and then I send it away to get spun and it comes back as yarn. So ruin is pulling the fleece off of the sheep once it's ready. Naturally the fleece will come off and you can see that when the sheep is ready to be rued, then there'll be a separation of the fleece and that would just fall off if you didn't rue it or pluck it, and then that kind of keeps the quality of the fleece as good as possible.
It's so incredibly soft. It's like your fingertips can't even quite feel it. My name is Carol Christensen and I am curator of collections at Shetland Museum and Archives. So here's the rise here. This is where the very thin fibers are. It's the difference between the old fleece and the new fleece coming in.
If you're clipping it, you're cutting the fibre, so you're going to get a blunt end.
Yeah.
And so when you're ruining it like this, then it's just the natural
the breaking point.
Yeah, which is better than for hand spinning.
As long as you're not tearing at it, it doesn't hurt the sheep. Of course, they want it to come off, especially now when it starts to warm up.
I think it's really important to be able to ken exactly how the animals are treated, to ken that they're being looked after really well. So yeah, lamb just being rude.
Never work with children or animals.
It's such a valuable natural resource, something that's grown on the land that we're also living on as well.
In the past, people would have used all this wool, all of it. So few people rue, because of course it takes longer than shearing, especially electrical shearing, that you can't really find those fleeces. I mean, you'd almost have to have your own sheep. I mean, as a hand spinner, I think that they are the best because they have less hassle for me in terms of preparing the fleece for spinning. Some people still rue in Shetland, but mainly because they're going to show the animals at the agricultural fairs, and if you rue them, the length of the fleece is even throughout. And it is a beautiful fleece because as you rue, you're sort of fluffing up the wool as well. I really like it.
It's quite satisfying.
Yeah, it's just me and the yow.
Yeah, and you're getting all your horrible hot fleece off.
Well, we've got this beautiful field and it's got a lot of hentilagets in it. These are small tufts of wool that have naturally been cast from the sheep, and these come off because they rub along a fence or they're laying down and the lambs are sort of leaning on them and it loosens up and it just gets caught into the grass and then it's all over the field. And people did collect these because, of course, the wool was really valuable and you could use this and you can still use it. You can go around fields today and collect hentilagets and have free wool, as it were. So they weren't really clipping until very late. But when they start clipping, they're clipping with hand shears. The hand shears are quite good because you can clip along the rise and be very careful with it. And the new fleece starts to come in. If you clip too close to that, you're clipping off the tip of the new fleece, which they need over the winter. I mean, to me, as a hand spinner, ruing is the best way. But next to that is hand clipping, because you can see you're quite careful with it. You can see what you're doing.
Depends what side you look at.
This is a beautiful fleece. You can see it's almost the age of the fleece through the year. You've got this incredible snowy softness here. But those tips are where we've had a lot of rain or moisture, and then it can kind of bind these together. But again, as this is processed, that'll all come away. You can also see the sheen, how shiny that is, and that would come through in a textile if it was all handmade.
I'm Elizabeth Johnston. I'm a professional hand spinner, although I knit as well. And we're in Scoresborough at my house, just next door to my studio. Today I'm going to show you the different ways that Shetlanders prepared fleece for spinning, and do a little spinning too. So there's 3 different ways that we prepare fibre, the fleece. We comb it on wool combs, which we call kems. We card on carders, which we call cairds. We've got a name for everything. And then for the fine lace, we prepare by combing, and it is common on dog combs. You mount your fleece on the kems, outside of the fleece to the outside, and the other end, the inside, what was next to the skin, is on this side. And you comb through it to transfer the fleece to the second comb. And swap over and comb again. Then to take it off.
So this is the drawing off of the combs. So she's just pulled off the longest fibers, and these could be now spun to make a really strong yarn for weaving or for knitting even. This is a coarser fleece in some ways, but it has different qualities to it. As you can see now, she's pulling off sort of the more medium length. This would be really good for weaving blankets or more of an outer garment.
It's good for socks.
Yeah, and it's strong.
Yeah, so that's your 2 types of yarn out of the same fleece.
Yeah.
And you can see the long lengths. So the teased fleece is spread across the carder. Time to put on too much and then draw some off. And then you make a gap, dropping one knee and your cardan. You are just touching the tips of one card against the tips of the other. And then swap. Without a brat on, you would end up tearing those teeth on your clothes. Swap again. So different ways you can roll this when it comes off. I roll it on my knee, just touch and down. So you have changed fleece into that spinnable for a woolen spin. Your fibres are lying this direction, whereas off the kems your fibres are lying in that direction, which gives you the 2 types of yarn, one woolen and one worsted.
Yep.
So this is the woolens. So we're taking the carded fleece to the wheel, joining on. This is the part I like. And this is spinning woolen from the rolags. I do a drawback, short drawback, and let in twist. You can do a short forward. Same thing, but this one I think I spin faster. So that's a thickness that'll give me a jumper weight when it's plied. but I should be able to spin this finer. It's not going to be cobweb, but it'll be a fine lace. And that wants a short draw, but more twist. So this is a different quality of fleece. And this, although this one will do lace weight, this one will do fine lace. So I'll take a nice piece out of here, and you don't need much. It goes a long way. You have to take off the rise, which isn't very much in this one, and then comb it. A dog comb, not the Kems. Set your comb and pull back, and comb right through to the centre, and it opens up the fibres. A different way to join on with this one, you lead it on from the side. Skin end out. You can see this one a little better in the grey rather than the white, but as you get finer and finer on it, it sort of disappears.
What's interesting about the Shetland way, this is a way that you work with the natural system. You can't do anything about the fact that your sheep molt their fleece. And so you've got to work with that physiological change in their bodies every year. So this was the way that things were done, because of course they had no other option. The other thing that's important is that the people that made textiles also raised their own sheep and grew that wool for their own textile making. And that has, in a way, kind of been lost over the last maybe 50 years. But with farms like this, these small crofts where people are now creating their own lines of yarn, they're getting back into that. And they see the direct correlation between what they're doing as a crofter and raising their animals and growing that wool and the kind of yarn that they can produce with that.
Well, it's really excellent to see just what happens. It's actually unbelievable. And I see some of the things she dyes, and when she maybe lifts it out of the dye, it looks brown, and then when you hang it on the fence after about 10 minutes, it's blue. And it's really absolutely amazing what she does. It's really busy, and we spend hours and hours and hours packing all that wool, and so it's quite a lot of hard work, but it's really very satisfying when you see the end result.
What I would like to leave you with is the processes that we've shown you today. You can use yourselves to change that raw fleece into fibre for spinning, and more people are using the raw fleece nowadays, which is great. It takes a little bit of learning, you've got to practice it, but it produces a fibre that you can spin any type of yarn from.
Well, sheep is really important in Shetland. I mean, Shetland sheep are highly adapted to live in the harsh climate. It's also such an amazing kind of raw material and a resource that we have all around us. And I just feel it's really important to kind of be able to do the best that we can with it.